Hey friends, this is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. Welcome to day 2 of Irresistible Blooms card class. Today we're going to incorporate a sentiment from the Sentimental Park stamp set, and we're going to do some fun masking and coloring for this card. So to start out, we're going to stamp on our card stock here. It's cut at 3 3/4 by 5 with Memento Tuxedo black ink, and then we're going to mask that and then stamp a couple of more times and do some coloring. So this video is sped up starting now, and I'm just doing that because masking and coloring is very time consuming, and so this video was really long in comparison to what it probably needed to be. So really quick, before we get too far into the card, I just want to remind you, if you place a $50 online order with me using the host code for this class, which is linked in the description below this video, it is also on the screen, you will receive all 3 card kits in the mail, including envelopes, along with 2 free gifts. One of those gifts is a cute little scissor charm, and I popped the picture of it here on the video so that you can see it. And then the other gift will be an embellishment. As I said in yesterday's video, I would really love to include the little embellishments I use in this class, but they were unavailable at the time of me filming this, so we will see if they are available. If not, you will get another embellishment. Okay, so here we've masked the flower we want to be in the front, and this is where our tips come in. I want to share with you. When you are masking, you want to stamp whatever you want to be in the front first. So just think front first, front first. You then mask that item, and then you stamp again over the top, as I've done here. So now that where I've put that mask, it will appear, it'll make these leaves appear as though they're behind that flower. Then I'm reusing that mask to repeat the same thing on the other side with a different set of leaves. And that is the case for all masking. Remember, front first. Whatever you stamp in the front, or whatever you stamp first, will be in the front. And you just want to mask that item and then peel away. So here you can see when I peel away the masks, I have the big bold flower in the middle, 2 supporting littler flowers, or they seem littler, it's the same stamp. And, oh no, it's not, I'm sorry, it's a different stamp. It is the smaller stamp. And then I've got the leaves on the side. Now I use a mix of Copic markers and Stampin' blends on this card because I couldn't really find a pink that I wanted to use for this first rose. So I used a set of Copic markers. Copic markers are kind of like the more advanced version of Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. They really are an apple and oranges comparison. I do get asked on a regular basis to compare and contrast the two, and you really can't. I say that because Copic markers are artist level markers. They have their own coating system. They are very advanced, and I don't use them in a way that is extremely advanced because I'm not that advanced. But Stampin' Blend markers are much, much, much easier to use. The biggest difference with Stampin' Blends for me than Copics is that when I use Copic markers, I start with my lightest color and work out to my darkest, and then darkest back to my lightest. With Stampin' Blend markers, I start with my darkest color first, lay down those shadows, go in and blend out with my lightest. So just a little bit different approach, but results are similar. I'm not going to say the same because they're not, but they're similar. Here I stamped the leaves in soft succulent ink, and then I colored them with soft succulent Stampin' Blend marker. That is one really nice thing about Stampin' Blend markers, is that they match your ink pads. So here I chose to use Starry Sky ink to stamp my sentiment. And here's another tip for you. One of the things that I like to do sometimes is just stamp on a piece of white cardstock and kind of place my sentiment where it's going to go on the card, and then I remove it and do my stamping. And that way I kind of have an idea of how it's going to look. So in this case, I was trying to decide, would that Blushing Bride ink look good in the sentiment? And ultimately I decided a bolder sentiment would be better. All right, so here is one of the embossing folders in the basics set of embossing folders that came out. There are 3 of these beautiful embossing folders, and I love this one. It's the polka dot one, that's what I'm calling it, but it's raised and it almost reminds me of that material, and I don't know the name of it, but people make baby blankets out of it where it's like got the little puffy things. That's what this reminds me of. This is Blushing Bride cardstock. Did I already say that? I may have already said that. Anyway, for your card kits, this card particular, you will get the card base, the envelope, the Blushing Bride cardstock, and the layer that we just did our stamping on. However, we are not going to emboss it for you. So you can use whatever embossing folder you have in your arsenal, or you can purchase the basics embossing folders. Totally up to you what you want to do there. I do have that cute little scissor charm I'm giving away, as I said, an embellishment plus the 3 card kits. And that is when you place a $50 online order by March 19th, 2023, using the special host code that we've provided for the class. Please make sure to use that specific host code if you want these card kits. Now, I have another host code going on right now for my March YouTube live card class. So make sure to not mix those up. If you want this one specifically, then you need to use the host code for this class. And that pretty much is the finished card, friends. We're going to add these gorgeous little embellishments. I've said before, I really want to include these embellishments in your kits, but I don't know if they're going to be available when I ship this class. If they are available, you're going to get them. If they're not available, we're going to substitute it out with something else. So here I'm just deciding what embellishments I want to use, what colors. Do I want to go like with a mix of colors? Because I can kind of get away with it because my flowers are blue, pink, and yellow. So I could get away with a mix of blue, pink, yellow on the embellishments. And I just actually kind of end up loving that. I think it looks really, really cute and fun, and it mixes in with those flowers really, really well. And so we just mix it up and make it work. Now, one of the other things I want to mention as a tip for this card is you obviously could do as many flowers on this card as you wanted to. You could continue masking and stamping to the point that you just make this a huge bouquet of flowers coming up the side of this cardstock. I like a lot of bright white focal point in my cards. I like, it's called Clean and Simple. It's a style of card making. So I'm a person who does not like lots of different patterns together. I don't care for really, really busy pieces on top of other busy pieces. It is overwhelming to me. And so when I design cards, they usually, if you'll notice, even if they use cardstock or pattern paper, you will notice that oftentimes it's like one piece of pattern paper with solid cardstock. And that's just what I tend to like. So if you want more than what I've done here on this card, you certainly can dress it up as much as you want to. We give you the card kit as a starting place. You do whatever you'd like to do with it after that. All right, if you want to get any of the products that I used today, you can shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. And don't forget to use that host code so that you can get these card kits free. Bye-bye.